So you're going to an onsen. If you're going to an onsen in Japan, or a sento, so the public baths, there's a couple of things you need to be aware of when it comes to shoes and slippers. In this video, I will talk about what you need to be aware of. First of all, when you get to the onsen or sento, you will notice that there's like a step up. Kind of like when you enter a Japanese house where people take off their shoes. The same is for the onsen. You don't walk in with your shoes on when you go to an onsen or a sento. If you look around what people do, they usually turn around and walk backwards a little bit. As they do, they take off their shoes. They might bend down, take them off. If they've got slip-ons, they can just pop them off with their feet. Then they'll pick up their shoes and take them to the shoe cupboard or the shoe rack or the shoe shelves, and they'll put their shoes on the shelves. Now, depending on the onsen, there might also be a pair of slippers sitting where you'd put your shoes. If that's the case, you take the slippers off, put your shoes there, put the slippers on the ground, and then put them on. While you're walking around the onsen foyer or area, you'll always have slippers on. But this is not the case for all onsens. This is usually for smaller ones. Bigger ones, you tend to walk around in your socks. So what about summer where it's hot? Well, even in summer, people wear socks. There's something about walking around barefoot in Japan that's not actually acceptable. If you're traveling, just remember that when you're at an onsen, you do need to have your socks on. Don't walk around barefoot. However, if there are slippers and you put them on, what do you do now? So you're going to wear those slippers around the foyer, around the areas in the onsen until you get to the changing room. You'll notice in front of the change room that there is actually a spot where you can now put your slippers. So it might be a slipper rack. Sometimes they're on the floor, depending on the size of the onsen. So don't wear your slippers into the changing room. So you've got to take them off again. Once you've gone to the onsen, you'll come out, you'll take your slippers, you'll put them on, you'll wear them to where your shoes are, you'll take your shoes out, put your slippers in, and then you'll put your shoes down into the foyer area or the genkan area. And you put your shoes on and you can go home. It's not difficult, but it's different. It's something that you've probably not done before. So when you do come to an onsen, be aware that you will need to take your shoes off. It is important that you wear socks, and you may need to wear slippers depending on the onsen. Going to an onsen is an amazing cultural experience. Also, it's so relaxing for your body. So if you are in Japan, I highly recommend you do go to an onsen. I love onsens. There's so many of them. They're a great way to relax and really also experience part of the Japanese culture. Like, subscribe, and follow to keep learning more about this amazing culture.